Hi, in this video, we will continue with our discussion on nested for loops. And here, our objective is to now draw a triangle pattern, a pyramid pattern, also a triangle pattern, you can say, um, using nested for loops. Okay, so let's enter the number of rows and pyramids. So I want up to 5. Okay, and you see over here, this is a pyramid pattern. So there's some spaces over here, then it breaks to new line, and then a few spaces here, then the stars breaks to new line, and so on and so forth. So we're going to be discussing how to achieve this in this coming video. So let me explain how the code is working for this for loop, which has got two sets of nested for loops. Okay, so as you know, this is our pyramid, and the first thing we do is we have a variable called row, and using the prompt function we ask the number of rows in the pyramid. Okay, and the value of 5 gets stored in row. Now the outer loop starts I is equal to 1, so we initialize, we follow the syntax rules for loops in as initialization, condition, and update. So first for keyword, then we enter our condition I is equal to 1 here. I, as long as it's less than row, then what I want is, first thing, I need space, right? I want the space because I want this first star to be right at the top. So the first requirement is that there should be space. So that is my first loop that runs. So for I've created a new variable called k. K is equal to 1. K, as long as it's less than equal to row minus I. That means because I want four spaces, okay? Because I want four spaces, I cannot have it k less than equal to I because I is currently 1. I want k to be less than the value of 5 minus 1, which is 4. So I want to have four spaces. So that's why we use k less than equal to row minus I. Okay, so k is 1, k is less than 5 minus 1, which is 4, true. So the first space, the first code block in this for loop gets executed. So our line 15 of our JavaScript code gets executed. So document.write and NBSP. In case you're wondering what this means, NBSP means non-breaking space. Okay, unlike the break character, which crosses a break in the line. So you have a new line. NBSP means non-breaking space. So you see it creates these spaces over here. Okay, so now coming back, K was 1. 1 is less than row which is 5 and the current value of I which is 1. 5 minus 1, 4. So 1 is less than 4, true. So the first NBSP got executed. Now goes back up, K plus plus. K becomes now 2. 2 is still less than equal to 4. So true. Second space goes back up, incrementer. K becomes 3. 3 is still less than 4. True. So third NBSP gets written, incrementer. K now becomes 4. 4 is not less, but it's equal to 4. So again, this code block gets executed because the condition is true. Fourth space. Okay. Now K becomes 5. 5 is not less or equal to 4. So it breaks out of this loop and goes to the second loop. Here J is 1. J is less than equal to I. I current value is 1, true. So write the first star character. Okay. J increments. J becomes 2. 2 is not less or equal to 1. So breaks out, comes here, break character gets executed. This completes, then it goes back up. Here I, now I, which was previously 1, now becomes 2. Okay, so let me show you this in sources how it works. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Chrome developer tools to run through this JavaScript code again and show you step by step what's happening. Okay, so let me refresh. So as you remember, the first thing that happens is the prompt function gets executed, right? So you see over here. So I'm going to step over to next function. Okay, So now you see over here, please enter number of rows in pyramid. Okay, so I'm going to enter 5. Okay, now this 5 has got stored inside row. Okay, so here we are, I is equal to 1. Okay, so next step. Okay, so I is currently, you can see over here, the value of I is 1. I is less than 5, okay, which is the value of row over here. And now next step, so this is true. So what happens is the first inner loop starts to get executed, right? Because this is the entire code block for this for loop. So here k is equal to 1. Okay, next step. Now k, the current value of k here is 1. K is less than equal to row minus 1. Okay, row minus I actually, so 5. So this is true, right? Because k is 1, k is less than 4. Okay, because row minus 5 minus I. Okay, and this will be true, so it will go down to this. So let me just step over. Yeah, so it steps over and the first breaking line gets executed. So let me step over. Okay, so the first NBSP got executed, then it goes to the incrementer. Now the value of k, you notice, is now 2. 2 is still less than 4. Okay, so this will be evaluated to true, so our second space will be executed. You see over here, so I went over the next function and our space got executed. Now this is completed, it will go back to the next step, it goes back to the iterator. Iterator gets executed. K, which was previously 2, now becomes 3. 3 is still less than 4, so true. Next, the space gets executed. This completes, goes back to iterator, to the incrementer. K, okay, so K right now is 3, increments. K now becomes 4. 4 is still less than 4 because row minus I is 4. So 4 is equal to 4, so this is still true. So the final space gets executed. Okay, then goes back to the incrementer. Now when it goes here, now k from the current value of 4 will become 5. Okay, now condition, now you see 5 was not less or equal to 4, so it broke out of this loop and went to the second loop. Now here j is equal to 1, j value is 1, which is still less than equal to I over here is still 1, so true. So what will happen is the line number 20 gets executed and our first star of the pyramid is created. Okay, now step over to next function, goes to the incrementer. Okay, incrementer gets executed. Now j becomes 2. However, 2 is not less or equal to 1, which is the current value of I, right? So see what happens, right? It breaks out of this loop and goes down to line number 24. It will execute the document.write and create the breaking line, and then you see it goes back to the top. Now I, you see over here, I was still 1, is gone to the incrementer. Next step, I has become 2. 2 is less than row which was 5. Okay, so true, so it goes back to the again to line 14 to execute the block of code. Now over here k, uh, k is, k was again 1, k evaluates to 1 over here again afresh. 5 minus, now over here 1 is sorry, I is not 1 but 2, so 5 minus 2 is 3. Okay, so k, the current value of k is 1. This is less than 5 minus 2, which is 3, which is true. So our first space, line number 15 gets executed and NPSP gets written on the document. This completes, then it goes to incrementer again. Incrementer now changes this value of, current value is 1. Now step over to the next function. K becomes 2. 2 is less than 3. So this is true. So it will come down here and execute the line of code, right? Line of code gets executed. It goes back to incrementer. So K currently 2. Now next step increments to 3. 3 is still equal to 3, so this will be true, so it will come down to this. So next step, you see 3 is equal to 3, true, so line 15 gets executed. This code block completes, it will go back to incrementer. It goes to incrementer. So K is 3, incrementer gets executed. K now becomes 4. Now the condition will be false. 5 minus 2 is 3 and K is 4. Now watch, right? So it broke out of the loop because condition is not met. It goes to the second loop. Now here j is again equal to 1. Okay, the value of I already we know over here is 2. So j is equal to 1. Next step, j current value is 1. 1 is less than 2, true. So it will go down and execute line number 20 and the first star will be created. Then goes to incrementer. J is still 1. The incrementer gets executed. Now j is 2. 2 is less than is equal to 2. So this is true. So the condition is still met and it will execute line number 20. Line number 20 gets executed and it will go back to incrementer. It goes to incrementer. So you see it's still 2 right now. Incrementer executes. J becomes 3. Now 3 is neither less nor equal to 2. So this condition will be false. So it will break out of this loop and come to line 24. Now watch, right? So it broke out of the loop. Now it will execute line number 24 and a fresh line will be executed. Okay, and then it goes back up. Okay, now it goes back to the iterator. So I was 2 until now. Now with iterator, incrementer, I becomes 3. 3 is still less than 5. Condition is true. So this entire code block will start to get executed. And the first nested loop in the code block is this line number 14 to 16. So 3 is less than 5, true. It goes down to the first inner nested loop. K again is 1. Okay, the value of K again is 1. Now row is still 5, but I is now 3. 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. Okay, so 1 is less than 2. This condition is true, so it will go down to line number 15. Execute line number 15. Go to incrementer. K is still 1. Incrementer will now execute. So K becomes 2. Sorry. So K is 2 and 5 minus I is 3. So this is 2. So 2 is not less but is equal to 2. So this condition is true. So it gets executed. Step over. Code executes. Line number 15. Goes to incrementer. Incrementer now. This is 2. This will become now 3. 3 now is not less nor equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. So it will break out of this loop. Goes to second loop. J is 1. 1 is less than current value of I, which is 3, true. So it will execute line number 20. First star goes back up to the incrementer. I is still 1. Incrementer executes. J becomes 2. 2 is less than 3, true. So goes and executes line number 20. Condition completed. Goes to incrementer. J is 2. Incrementer now executes and J becomes 3. 3 is equal to 3. Condition is true, so line number 20 executes. Third star gets typed, goes back to incrementer. J is 3, incrementer executes, J becomes 4. 4 is not less or equal to 3. So this condition is not true, it will break out. Breaks out of the loop, goes to line 24. Line 24 gets executed, goes back to the start of outer loop. I is 3, incrementer is there, incrementer executes, I becomes 4. 4 is still less than 5. So condition is true. So this entire code block gets executed again, starting with the first in nested for loop. K is 1, K, uh, refresh, K is 1, 1 is less than 5 minus 4. So K is actually equal to 1. Condition is true. So line 15 will get executed. Line 15 executes, goes to incrementer. K is 1 right now. Incrementer executes. K becomes 2. 2 now is not less nor equal to 5 minus 4, which is 1. Right? So it will break out of the loop. Right? Goes to second loop. Here, J again becomes 1. 1 is less than 4. True. First start gets executed. Then code gets executed, goes to incrementer. Incrementer executes, J becomes 2. J2 is less than 4, true. So line 20 gets executed again, goes to incrementer. This is 2, incrementer executes, this becomes 3. 3 is still less than 4, true. Line 20 executes. Then goes to incrementer. Incrementer executes, 4 is less than 4. So it's equal to true. So condition is true. This goes true. Executes.
So now j is 5 and I is equal to 4. So naturally 5 is not less or equal to 4. So it will break out of this loop. So next step, yep, broke out of the loop, goes down to line 24, execute the break line statement and goes back right up to the incrementer. So the value of I now is 4 until now. Now the incrementer will execute and I becomes 5. Now 5 is still less or equal to row. Row value was 5. So since I is equal to 5, so the condition holds true. So it will execute the code block again. So it will come down to the first nested loop inside. So now K will again equal to 1. So K has returned to 1. Now row 5 minus I 5. So is 1 less or equal to 0? Right? 5 minus the value of I here is 5 and row is 5. So this is going to be false, right? So it will break out of the loop. So it's next. Yeah, broke out of this loop, goes to the second loop. J returns to 1. J is 1. The value of I is 5. So 1 is less than 5, true. So it will execute line 20, the code block. First star gets executed, returns back to the loop, to the iterator. Iterator, this is 1. Now it will increase it to 2. 2. 2 is still less than 5, true. Now execute line 20. Line 20 executes, goes to iterator. 2 will now become 3. 3 is still less than 5. Condition is true. So it goes and execute the code block line 20. Line 20 executes, another star, goes back to iterator. 3 will now become 4 after the iterator. 4 is still less than 5. Condition is still true. Execute code block, line 20 executes, goes back to iterator. 4, iterator executes. 4 becomes 5. 5 is still equal to 5, true. Condition is true. Goes to line 20, executes code block. Iterator goes back up, iterator executes. Now J is 6. 6 is neither less nor equal to 5, so it will break out of the code block and go to line 20. Line 20 will execute, and you see over here the final. And now we've returned to the top, to the outer loop. Now so over here 5, and this is the now it will iterate above 5. Now this becomes 6. So now 6 is neither less or equal to row, which was equal to 5. So it will break out the entire loop and the loop will end. So watch, loop ends. Okay, so this is how a nested for loop with a pyramid is used. Okay, so I hope you found this video useful, and thanks for watching, and do please subscribe. Thank you.